Let me ask you, what do you say to Gul Rahman? What do you say to Suleiman Abdallah? What do you say to Khalid al-Masri? All three of these folks were detained. They had these interrogation techniques used on them. They eventually were found to be innocents. They were released, no apologies, nothing. What do we owe them?
Well,
what does it? Does this? I mean, let me go to Gul Rahman. He was chained to the wall of his cell, doused with water, froze to death in CIA custody, and it turned out it was a case of mistaken identity.
Right. But the problem I have is with all the folks that we did release that ended up back on the battlefield. Of the 600 and some people who were released out of Guantanamo, 30% roughly ended up back on the battlefield. Today we're very concerned about ISIS, a terrible new terrorist organization. It is headed by a named Baghdadi. Baghdadi was in the custody of the U.S. military in Iraq, in Camp Bucca. He was let go, and now he's out leading the terror attack against the United States. I'm more concerned with bad guys who got out and released than I am with a few that, in fact, were innocent.
25% of the detainees, though, 25% turned out not to have, turned out to be innocent. They were.
So where are you going to draw the line, Chuck? How are you going to know?
Is that too high? Is that, you're okay with that margin for error?
I have no problem as long as we achieve our objective, and our objective is to get the guys who did 9/11, and it is to avoid another attack against the United States. I was prepared, and we did. We got the authorization from the President and authorization from the Justice Department to go forward to the program. It worked. It worked now for 13 years. We've avoided another mass casualty attack against the United States. We did capture bin Laden. We did capture an awful lot of the senior guys of al-Qaeda who were responsible for that attack on 9/11. I'd do it again in a minute.
When you say waterboarding is not torture, then why did we prosecute Japanese soldiers?
For a lot of stuff, not for waterboarding. They did an awful lot of other stuff to draw some kind of moral equivalent between waterboarding, judged by our Justice Department not to be torture, and what the Japanese did with the Bataan Death March, the slaughter of thousands of Americans, with the rape of Nanking and all of the other crimes they committed. That's an outrage. It's a really cheap shot, Chuck, to even try to draw a parallel between the Japanese who were prosecuted for war crimes after World War II and what we did with waterboarding 3 individuals, all of whom were guilty in participating in the 9/11 attacks.
Is there a reason these